this is my thing. I've been here 40 years. I've seen it come from a single kitchen to the new expansion in 82, 84, to the 2003, then the 2020 expansion, and now this year the 2025 expansion. So this is where the Master Chef exams are held. This is one of our major kitchens. This is the foundation kitchen. And when this was built in 2001, the concept of it completely changed the educational dynamics nationwide. In this classroom, we changed the classroom from one area where everybody shared to competency-based learning kitchens. And so this one, since its foundations, has an individual station for each student, which means it's a huge footprint. But if I was a student here, this would be my station. I have my own refrigerators that nobody has to bother me with. I have my own star burners. I have my own oven. I have a broiler and a griddle. And then this space is duplicated 15 other times in this classroom, which is a completely new concept. And in fact, it was so new that we actually received national recognition for it. Then we built in the computer technology in addition to that. And so now we got rid of the glass mirrors and we got technology built in, computer built in. We've got competency-based station assignments. Everything we need for foundational cookery is in this classroom. Their cooler, all their tools and equipment. When the door closes, the student never has to leave this environment. They're all self-contained. It was a cutting edge 2001 when we started building it. And in fact, 8 other schools used our exact outline through our architect. At 8 other schools, that's how popular it was. So I'm part of 5 of these national championships with hot food, helping with hot food competitions, and of course the knowledgeable competitions. This is our legacy. 2 of the Master Chefs actually that have retired have left their Master Chef designations here, and we're just proud of all this. This is the connection between education, competition, student learning, and it's a great way to promote the college as well. And we're very proud of all these wins and a lot of gold medals, and Schoolcraft's very well represented nationwide. So this builds on that same concept of competency-based learning. When a student comes into butchery, charcuterie, look at all the different kinds of equipment that are in here. We've got, a bandsaw, we've got an aging cabinet, sausage stuffing station, hot and cold smoker, mixers and things to make all the sausages, and their own coolers to help with cross-contamination problems. Look at all the computer technology. I mean, it almost looks like a drone up here. This is a HD camera that we use to do all our demonstrations at. So when a student walks in here, they're completely self-contained. The coolers, the meat, all the vegetables, all the alcohol, all the things they need, dry aging cabinets, sausage, it's all self-contained. So as opposed to having one big kitchen and everybody shares it, the concept we had was separation of competency-based. And this is a great example. Obviously, a lot of these pieces would not be in a big kitchen. You wouldn't see a hot and cold smoker. So again, all individually based learning, competency-based. And again, it's great for the students. They never have to leave this room. The chef instructor never has to leave. The connection between the student and the instructor is a lot tighter because they never have to leave. They're all self-contained, and very important change in the educational dynamic. This is the bake shop. Most people associate baking and pastries as the same, and they're really not. When you look at the baking class, you'll see a lot of wooden tables. You'll see planetary mixers, which is where the bowl stays in one spot, like you have at most homes. But we also have spiral mixers here where the bowl turns and the paddle turns in the opposite direction. So these are specifically for baking. We also control how much water, the temperature of the water. There's a lot of factors in the bake program, and all of their specialized equipment, all these specialty pans and over here the pans and all of the Pantone cups and everything that they cook in. And all their ingredients are all very specific. Their ovens are different. They have rotary rack ovens. They have deck ovens. They have a proofer retarder for proofing and retarding dough. They have a flatbread, or what some people would call a pizza oven. They have their dough sheeter here to make all their pie doughs. And they make all their own, believe it or not, we make our own puff dough from scratch every single day. A true culinary school. I mean, all the sausages that we were talking about in charcuterie are all made from scratch. I don't buy bacon here. I buy raw pork bellies. They make the bacon. It's a true culinary experience. Through here is the pastry department. And maybe you'll get a chance to go in there later, but you can see the tables are not wood. The tables are made out of potassium feldspar or granite. Some are made out of marble, but we chose granite because most of the work in a pastry shop doesn't need wood. They need a hard surface to pour fondant on for recrystallization of fondants for doing chocolate work. And so it's a completely different learning environment, not even close to what you see in the bake shop here. They have different kinds of ovens. They have different kinds of needs as far as steam jacketed kettles for making pastry creams and things. They have their own cooler freezer. No onions and garlic in that freezer or cooler, right? So it smells beautiful in there. And we also have a specialty room that is humidity and temperature controlled for doing chocolate work and for doing the work with decorating, so that, especially in the summertime when the humidity level is high, it works a lot better in that classroom. So this is the retail outlet store. And these are where the products come from the classrooms. You can see the bread back there. That's all that's filled with bread. And so the students have the opportunity to make dozens of rolls and dozens of bread for practice. And then we sell them here at cost to the community. So who's winning? The community is winning because they get this bread at cost. The students winning because they get more and more practice. And the program is winning because we get that money back to invest in the food for the following week. So it's a win-win for everybody. This is a very critical piece of the puzzle when it comes to education. So this is the obviously this is the purchasing area. This is where we keep all of our par stock inventory. I mean, if you just look at our spice rack alone here, I mean, we've got whole nutmeg nuts and, juniper berries and, I mean, what kind of culinary school has, 50 whole nutmeg nuts to hand out to the students to use in curriculum? And we have sumac, and we have all the different kinds of peppers and juniper berries and herbs de Provence, and they're here all the time. It's not a specialty item. These are here 24/7. I don't have a chocolate that's less than $8 a pound. We have all the chocolate imported from France and Switzerland and South Africa. Nothing but the best. But this area here is the computer lab, and this plays an important role in culinary education. Not the testing part, but in here, the students learn how to cost out a recipe. They learn how to take that costing of a recipe and develop a selling price. And they do all the prices in the restaurant. So every price that's on the restaurant menu is developed here. They also do nutritional analysis on these computers for the nutritional portions of the classes. This is also where they do all of their specifications and all their bidding on computers, so that they have a firsthand knowledge of, well, how much does a whole salmon cost and how can it be purchased? Is it whole, head on, head off? Is it eviscerated? Is it round? Is it scaled? So they learn all those minute aspects of what goes on. And in addition to that, the final practical exam at the end of every 5 weeks, they do a cost analysis of every kitchen. How many dollars went in? How many dollars were recovered in sales in the restaurant? And they do an inventory fluctuation. They have to go in and count it to do a real cost analysis like they would have to do at a restaurant for profit loss. So it's really in depth. And this computer lab has become a very important part of that educational, and especially since COVID, where things have really gotten more difficult to make money. This helps them understand, what do things cost? How much should I sell it for? And how does it affect the bottom line? This is the brewery. Well, the brew tanks, and that's where the grain is cooked, and then it's transferred into here and brought to a boil. And then from here, it's put into the tanks. And then from here, after it's purified and sterilized, then it goes into these vats for the final fermentation process, and then we have a couple of bright tanks down here to, after it's done here, sometimes they put it in a bright tank to make it a little more crisp, change its characteristics to meet the style. But this is really a real brewery, and you can see why. We do our own canning here as well, and kegging. And I always thought this was really cool. They actually take the time to take the water that comes in from the city of Detroit, filter it, process it, and take out every mineral and everything right out of the water and put it in this tank, which is pure water without any mineral content, chlorine, or anything in it to make the beer, so it doesn't affect the quality. It's really a unique operation. This is the brew pub. The brew pub is an extension of the culinary division. Same methodology. They have a beer program. They make one batch of beer, but they had no outlet for it. And so the students really didn't get repetition and practice. So we developed this brew pub so that now there's an outlet for the beer, which means the students can get more repetitions making it because we have an outlet for it. And then, of course, the revenue comes back into the brewery program. So again, it's the same methodology as the retail store, just with the brewery department. So this is the ice carving deck. Right now, of course, in the middle of summer, we're doing cleaning in that. We're using that as a storage area. But you can imagine the freezer, the ice blocks coming out, the students working on with these big sodium vapor lights on. It's like a soccer game back here. People pull into this parking lot with hot cocos and watch them. And they got their saws and they're carving there and they're doing all their templating. And this is a really cool place in the winter semester when the ice carving class is going on. But I have to be careful because you see this down here, the students, they sometimes they cut more than just the ice. So I've replaced quite a few boards already from students, but it's good. It's okay. They're learning. And but again, this is something unique to Schoolcraft. Not a lot of places have a huge area like this with sodium vapor lighting and individual plugs. And we even supply the students with their own chainsaws, so they don't have to buy them. And just another wonderful thing that we do that's unique.